As the infrastructure which has supported Australia's oil and gas industry nears the end of its life, consideration is being given how to best decommission these facilities. To help inform the discussion between all stakeholders about whether to leave the infrastructure in the offshore environment or to remove it, the NDRI, the National Decommissioning Research Initiative, commissioned the Australian Institute of Marine Science to investigate the value of the infrastructure as a marine habitat.
So AIMS used a collection of industry-obtained historical remotely operated vehicle video imagery of their offshore oil and gas platforms, and we combined that with scientifically gathered video footage to look at the value of these structures for marine life, both in the northwest and in the southeast of Australia. We were interested in looking at the patterns that drive the presence and the abundance of these species, so what aspects of the infrastructure, depth, locational variables were important, but we're also interested in the fishery target species, so trying to understand what value these structures have for fisheries in our regions. This research is really important because it tells us about the value of these structures for marine life, which we really need to know when we're deciding what to do with them when they reach their end of life. So, as these structures finish production and require decommissioning, decisions have to be made on what to do with them. So we really need to understand what value they have and to minimise the environmental impacts of that decommissioning. To undertake this research really requires skilled analysts with a lot of training in video and imagery analysis. So we use software programs that have been developed specifically for this purpose. And we looked at 5 platforms, 17 pipelines and around 58 subsea wells across Australia's northwest and southeast, and we interrogated that video for measures of diversity and abundance of all the marine life that occurs there. We found a lot of things through this research. Primarily, we looked at the value of this historical ROV imagery, so that was really the first step, and often it wasn't collected for scientific purposes, so it's not got the typical rigour that scientific surveys would have, but it has immense value in providing insights into unseen structures from a scientific point of view, and we can make lots of discoveries from that ROV imagery. For example, we've seen aggregations of Port Jackson sharks at the base of platforms in the Bass Strait. We see lots of seals feeding on fish in front of the ROV cameras, things like that, behaviours that are not typically noted very often in the marine environment. Other significant research findings include that every structure seems to be different. So each structure, the communities that are found on it are shaped by a unique combination of factors. So there's different depths, different currents, different temperatures, different structural aspects of these features that influence the marine communities that are found there. And also we find that a lot of the oil and gas structures have particularly high number of fishery target species on them, and this is compared to surrounding ecosystems. So it's that's important to note because it does suggest these offer some important aspect for our fisheries, and that's supported by other studies that look at how fishers target these structures. So AIMS research is really now looking at the value of these structures in the ecosystem and the implications for decommissioning. So we want to understand how connected they are with surrounding natural ecosystems, their value to fisheries in regions. So really getting a better hold of connectivity and production and the implications that decommissioning will have on these.